It's the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. We recorded this episode on St. Patrick's Day, so we do talk about that a little bit, but we go into the files about the 80s and the 90s and how most kids back then weren't really supervised when our parents were working, so we have some massive stories of our childhood. This and some HUglee and Awkward Moments of the week. Thank you so much for listening. Please share us with your friends and give us a 5-star review. We would love that so much. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie? Paula?
Sorry, sir. There's no pill for moron.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode 449. St. Patty's Day is here. That's my Irish accent.
I don't even try accents. They usually sound stupid. They don't even sound like an accent. They sound like, what is that?
They're like, what are you doing? Are you having a stroke? Top of the morning to ya.
Top of the morning to ya, laddie.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. We're so awkward, Paula. I can't with us. Welcome to the Ugly Truth. We are recording on St. Patrick's Day. You know, I was thinking about making a joke and going, you know, we were going to have our first live podcast event and it got canceled because of the coronavirus. But
oh, that's BS.
No one would believe it.
You'd be like, yeah, right.
No one would believe it.
Not at this hour.
No. Are you making corned beef and cabbage and all that today?
You know what? That's why I was glad that you said you were running late, because I'm like, shit. I'm like, I don't have time to put my thing in there. So we'll be eating at 10 o'clock tonight. Oh. How about, well, I do the crock pot. You do the boil on the stove, right?
I have done that because that's the old school way of doing it. But now I do it in the oven. I slow cook it.
Oh.
With veggies, you know, potatoes and cabbage. And actually, I don't necessarily do the cabbage right away because I don't like how it turns to like this white, off-white color, like wet paper towels.
Yeah, I actually do. So I do the crock pot. I usually try and do at least 10 hours.
Ooh, nice.
Because the longer, the better. And then I'll usually do maybe like the last 4 hours. I'll do like the potatoes. And then like the last 2, I'll do the cabbage.
Yeah, I kind of do that too. After we finish recording, I'm actually going to throw it in the oven, do the slow cook with the potats and the carrots. And I always like to do a little glaze with Guinness beer.
Oh, you do carrots. I don't like carrots.
I do. Oh.
I mean, I like carrots. I don't like cooked carrots. They just taste weird to me.
You know, I do this broasted or braised carrot dish for Thanksgiving. And it's like...
Broasted?
I don't know. That was a wrong word. Braised.
Is that a term?
I wish. Maybe if there's a chef listening, they're like, absolutely, there is a broasted.
Michael Chiarelli, I do this broasted. He's like, you do a what now?
I know, right? No, it's like, you do a what now? Because he has this super smoky voice.
I thought he was the one that was super sexy that you liked.
I do like Michael Chiarello.
Chiarello? Oh, Chiarelli.
Yes, Chiarello. I do
Is
like
he Italian by any chance?
I'm going to say yes.
Of course he is.
Yes.
All good things are Italian.
Right. Anyway, for today, listen, we're all a little cabin fevery. We're all a little
I know.
crazy.
I think I should open a window. I think I'm bringing my own CO2.
So, yeah, maybe we're having carbon monoxide issues. That's exactly what it is.
I'm poisoned by my own air, my own exhale.
So I hope.
God, that sounds gross.
I was going to say, it was like thick breath.
I know I opened my back door a lot because with Bo's diabetes, he's got to go to the bathroom all the time.
So a lot of things are not at fully a lot of things aren't fully operational right now in the community.
Like your mouth?
Like my mouth. Sorry. So the county came to our door last week and gave us a slip that said, hey, we're going to work on the sewer pipe. It happens to be in your driveway.
What did they say? You guys have been shitting too much. We got to work on your pipes.
So they said, we'll be to your house anywhere between 2 and 27 days to work on it. You need to move your cars when we do.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the warning.
Right? And I said, what the fuck is this fuckery? What is this shit?
It's the county. That's
exactly
what it is.
And I said, all right. I said, I almost want to pull out my Karen and get a manager on the phone to find out what the hell I'm supposed to do with this. So luckily, Daryl has been dealing with them. They came like 2 days later and they said, okay, these are the dates we are going to be here. We need you to, move all the vehicles out in the morning. We'll be here at 8.
8? Ugh.
Right. So Daryl got up at 6 o'clock because he couldn't sleep anymore. He got up, moved all the cars
right.
to the street.
He's a morning person. I forgot.
Oh, my God. You know what? It's kind of nice. I'm the night owl. He's the morning. We've already talked about this. There's the Navarre and the Lady Hawk. The Isabel and the Navarre. That's us, the couple. And
Wait,
so...
would you want to be the animal or would you want to be the person at night? I guess we'd be the Lady Hawk. We'd be the person at night.
Yes.
We'd be the lady of the night.
Oh, God. What a surprise. Shocking. Anyway, so it works out. So he got up, moved all the cars to the street so that we could all leave in case of whatever reason. And so the guy shows up. He goes, okay, now here was the added thing. He said, I was just getting ready to come upstairs and reach out to you so we could do our show. And Daryl comes in. He goes, okay, so here's the deal. They need to turn our water off for an hour. If you have to pee, you have to do it now. And I said, well, now I have to pee. So I got up and peed.
Well,
and
thank God it wasn't, 15 minutes later, like, well, I have to go now.
Now I have to go, right.
And you flush and it squirts in his face. That'd be funny.
So then Daryl goes, well, now I have to pee. And I'm like, all right, well, let's all pee. That fucker, come on, please. So we all peed while he waited at the door.
Gross.
He comes back and he goes, okay, you can turn off the water for an hour. That's happening. But I have a picture. I posted it on my Facebook and I'll post it to Instagram later that we have what essentially looks like a grave in our front yard, in our driveway. A huge, 6-foot rectangle has been cut out. And there's a dude in there and it's so deep that when he went to reach out to get something, he barely reached. It's such a deep hole that he's way down there.
I could be wrong. Don't you have somewhat of a pebbled driveway?
We do have a pseudo specialty driveway. It's not flat concrete. You're right.
Okay, I thought I was smelling this conversation because I'm like, why does it smell like crap all of a sudden? But
what?
I'm recording in the room where the litter box is.
Oh, God.
Cat just took a dump.
Okay, seriously, Paula, that is so vintage Ugly Truth podcast.
I know. I kind of missed the Litter Maid one.
I'm like, this episode is brought to you by Litter Maid. God.
What is it about our podcast that's a diuretic? I don't get it.
It's just like my magnesium caplets.
Well, Jamie, that's the point. It's like my correctal. I don't get it.
I just don't understand. Like my supplements. It's so weird. That time period, we actually did sell litter maids through our Amazon link.
I know.
It did work. It did work. People did buy them during that time period.
Well, they were good, but
they are good.
It just didn't work out so well with Toby at the time because
no, it didn't.
He didn't get it, but
he's like, no, I'll just shit in your shoes. It's fine.
Well, he would be in the litter box, but his butt would be out of it, and so he would just poop on the floor, and so he had issues.
Yay, animals. Anyway, we have this grave in our front yard. They have salvaged the top of it so that they can just reconcrete it in, and we won't notice. Plus, where the sewer hole is it was already kind of operated on at some point, so it's not like they've added more flaws to the driveway, so that's fine. But I just thought, oh God, this is so hilarious. Everybody's just like, we're at home and we're afraid and we're sitting amongst our beds of toilet paper, and yet the county's out here
really?
Working away. They're like, well, I don't know what's going on, but I just have a job to do. So
did you do what I usually do when I meet a plumber or something like that? I'd be like, wow, it's a pretty shitty job.
No.
I know they hear that all the time, but I can't help
I'm sure
it.
they do. I'm sure it's like, oh, I've never heard that again.
They're like, wow, I've never heard that one before, you dumbass. Just kidding.
Yeah, really. It's like, thanks. Can I just get back to my job, please? So anyway, they're working on that. It's only one day, though. Thank goodness. It's not like this multiple day affair where we're stuck in our house or, we have to hike to our cars. But yeah, so that's what's going on in my life. I was kind of wondering if it was going to be loud, but they got all the chopping out of the way earlier today. But they're going to be there all day.
Wow.
Yeah,
tip your waitresses. Okay.
Right. And so, yeah, so that's life here. With that in mind, yes, we're going to talk about the coronavirus, but not till the end because we don't give a shit. You hear it all the time. We do too. It's like, bleh. So we thought we would go into the archives.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about all the time how unsupervised we were as children, and there were 4 of us. So we got into a lot of trouble. And this is pre-driving even. When we had access to a car, I remember, first of all, back in the 80s, there was only one car. It's not like everybody had a car back then. So our mom took the car and we were stuck at home for hours on end, especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
And it didn't even change. Like when we would stay at our dad's house unsupervised, we were legit unsupervised.
Well, because dad would work and our stepmom watched soap operas and was constantly folding laundry. So
right. Or she was at the shop with dad.
That's true.
God forbid. Well, because she would run parts. She would go pick up parts for him all the time.
God, what a life. I wish I had something easy to do like that. Just go pick up parts and look at cute guys all day.
Right.
Or guys with their pants hanging halfway down with their butt cracks hanging out.
Seriously. So she was the parts runner. So she was never home. So we were, again, left to our own devices. Now, Stephanie was absolutely the one that would push the limit on what we should or shouldn't do. And I was always
or who she was going to torment.
Yeah, it's like, who will I torment today? As she twiddles her evil mustache.
I remember one time she had me sitting on the floor in the corner of the kitchen at Mom's house with a butcher knife. And I was crying because she had me convinced that the man that was working on our roof was a serial killer. And he was going to come through the ceiling and kill us all of us.
Oh my God.
I think I was 6.
Did that traumatize you for life?
Well, the fact that I remember it, I mean, I don't remember a ton from our childhood. So the fact that I remember that occasion, I may have thought it was a butcher knife. It very well could have been a butter knife, but
right.
I can't tell you how many butter knives did Mom collect from underneath our beds.
I was just going to say, we all had a steak knife or a butter knife under our mattress.
That should tell you something.
I know. I remember one time I had it under my pillow and she's like, Jamie Lynn, she's like, you're going to kill yourself in the night. She's like, you don't sleep soundly. You toss and turn. You're going to wake up with that thing in your hair and kill yourself. Poke an eye or something.
I forgot what I was telling the kids. I was laughing. They were just looking at me like, oh my God.
In horror.
Well, I was telling them that, Auntie Stephanie didn't have the nicest friends. And so
she did not.
I said, one night in my mom's bathroom, we had these tiny little windows and someone decided to come up and punch it and smash glass through the shower.
I remember that.
I said, and then another time, I'm like, it was either a brick or a really big rock. I'm like, I think it was a rock. And they decided to throw it through our living room window.
They did.
Was it a brick or a rock? Do you remember?
It was a rock. It was a big ass river rock. Why?
It was. Well, I was confused because I think I was getting that and Footloose confused because I knew it wasn't a brick that said burning hell on it. So.
No. It was just a regular old river rock.
And then someone decided to go full speed ahead into our garage door and smash into it. And they're like, why would they do that? I'm like, drugs does a lot of things to people.
I was going to say, drugs are one hell of an avenue to go down.
Yeah, right.
And these people definitely did it. They were
remember
that
big cement pole we had in our garage at the old house? And they're like, yeah, Mom, remember how it stopped it right in front of the water heater? I'm like, if we didn't have that, our whole house would have exploded.
Yeah.
So they're like,
definitely
wow.
A safety feature. Yeah, it was insane, those things. I was thinking about this topic we were going to talk about, the ones that came to mind initially were when Stephanie and I tried to create cigarettes with oregano and paper towels.
Oh God, what were you guys trying to create? Like freaking ganjas or something?
Yes. We tried that because, we were just curious about it. And then another time we tried to smoke cinnamon sticks. Because we thought maybe it would be like cloves.
I know we did bay leaves and sticky notes.
Oh, there. See? Same thing. Oh,
that's
smarter. Smart. Sticky notes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty hollow, so that's a lot of smoke to inhale.
Oh, I remember when I inhaled the oregano cigarette and I thought I was going to die. Like, I literally thought I had killed myself. I'm like, I am going to die. It burned so bad.
Me and my friend, the neighbor across the street, we chopped up a bunch of sweet tarts and then we tried to snort them like they were cocaine.
Wow, that's interesting. That's creative.
Well, he went first. I didn't do it after I saw what happened.
I actually think, Stephanie, I think we did consider snorting powdered sugar or something. at one point. We thought we could do that and see
Where
if
did
we'd get
we see
like a
these
buzz.
things?
I have no idea, but we didn't have any supervision. We were kind of on our own.
Like my children, they would never know
They're not
how
creative
to.
like we are.
No, they just wouldn't know. I mean, all Brian would know is like he's seen the joke scenes from like Scarface where there's like a big pile of, you know, like powdered sugar on, you know, something.
Yeah.
Or I think one time I showed him the picture of Leonardo DiCaprio trying to like snort coke off a hooker's ass. And I
Why would you show him that?
Well, the only reason why I showed him is because I was making the joke that you and I were talking about. Like, can you imagine being the actress that had to be the ass in that?
Yes.
And so I showed him the picture and I'm like, can you imagine being the girl that had to do that? He's just like, what is he doing? And I'm like, he's trying to snort coke off her ass, Ryan. And he's just like,
what's coke?
he didn't get it. I'm like, you're missing the point. The point is,
Paula, the point is you need adult friends.
yeah.
All right, so there was that, and then I remember when we were a bit younger, because that was kind of high schooly, but when we were a bit younger, we decided to try to float off of the shed in the backyard with umbrellas
Oh, okay.
and sheets.
I used the sheet.
Yes.
And that's when I peached myself on my heel.
It did not work.
That hurt. I probably lost my virginity right then.
You probably did. That's one hell of a that's a sting that
Ow.
does not leave you.
That's probably where I got my affinity for large dick.
Your heel.
The heel of my foot.
Yes.
Once I had that, it's just like, we ain't never going back.
I do recall that, and I remember I think it was I'm pretty sure we made Allison do it. We're like, go up there like Mary Poppins and you'll just float down with the umbrella.
You know what, though? She probably knew what was going to happen. Elsa wasn't an idiot. You
No,
know,
she's not
I
an
think
idiot.
she knew. She's just like, all right, fine. I'll play along.
And then, my ankle.
Yeah, she thought she was all calculated. Like she knew the mind game, but then when it came to the math, she's like, wow, I really misjudged that.
Well, what's funny about it is like, I was telling Daryl this last night. We were talking about something, and I said, I'm pretty persuasive. It is a gift. It's a talent that I do have. I'm very persuasive. I can get my way if I need to. Now, that does not extend to my sisters. I mean, out in the world.
Sure.
Okay? Because my sisters know the game, so they are never persuaded. I mean, when we were younger, yes, but now they're just like, "Fuck you, Jamie. We know your game. You're not persuading us to
As
do
soon as you
anything."
start with a certain look, like, okay. And then we're like, what?
Yeah. That's kind of the whole thing on our childhood being unsupervised is we all have it. We're all able to do it. Somehow
Yeah.
we got Allison to leap off the shed with an umbrella. And you know, Mom would always, after the fact, she's like, you guys are so ridiculous. You could have killed yourselves all the time.
It's just like, well, if you're so concerned, you know, you could provide adequate supervision, Mom, but, you know.
I don't think the 80s, nobody gave a shit about kids in the 80s about being supervised. It really didn't happen. I don't think we were alone in this. It's just that there were so many of us and we were so inventive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when we would literally prepare for war? Literally prepare for war against each other?
Like battle?
Yeah. Do you remember that? Like, we would choose sides. First of all, Stephanie and I were not allowed to be on the same team.
Of course.
Because
That
it would
was
not
just
be
not fair.
Usually you were on my side. Stephanie,
Yeah. Oh, God. I don't know how that ended. Well, that's probably.
Stephanie, she swears she hates Allison, but she really never did. And because they were so close in age. And so I would get you because, you know, oldest and youngest, it seemed like an even.
Well, you had to protect me, and plus I was kind of mean. But you know, no one would beat me up. I mean,
no, nobody got. Violence never took you.
I think I usually ended up like stealing weapons or something like that.
Yeah, you would be the one. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to create the diversion. Just run like hell. Get to the kitchen. Grab everything you can. Run. Get supplies. Yeah, literally, we would create walls.
And we would pretend like with swords or things until someone actually got hit like in the wrist or the shin, and then it was just like someone would bite their tongue like, and their head would shake really hard.
That's exactly what would happen. Somebody would someone would be, and this is usually what happened. Somehow I would always get slapped in the face with something. And then it was fucking over.
Then Allison would end up getting hit in the head with something, and she'd be like, "Ow, ow."
I mean, seriously.
Of course, Stephanie never got hit with anything. She'd just be a wild person, spitting everywhere.
She was swift. That girl was swift.
She she still has an abundance of spit in her mouth. I don't know what's up with her.
Stephanie?
Yeah, she's always very salivary.
I did not realize.
Don't you remember when she was little? We always used to say it, don't spray it.
Oh my God, that's true.
You know, the thing I don't really understand, so I keep finding these videos because for some reason something happened on my phone. Ever since there's been an update, it keeps like showing me all these videos or photos from like my not my closet, my cloud. It's mostly videos that Olivia has made that I don't realize.
Yes.
She makes a lot of videos of herself putting on makeup and like doing her hair.
That's awesome.
But she knows how to do it where she'll like cover the camera and then when she uncovers it, it's like a new scene where she like looks different, like her hair's in ponytails or something like that.
You have a little Sharon Stone on your hands. That girl's going to be famous.
I know.
She's going to be famous.
Well, what I didn't realize is if you look closely, I'm in the background in the shower. Fortunately, I have very foggy glass. So you only see like a little head bopping around, but you can't really tell like who it is or what it is. You just can tell someone's in the shower. And when I turn up the volume, usually it's like, could you believe we are magic? No. So I'm like, oh God, please don't tell me I'm singing or something.
Okay, you know what? She's going to be one of those people that needs to be aware of her surroundings when she starts doing selfies or YouTube videos, because this is how viral moments go viral.
Jamie, you should have seen me when we were at the Girl Scout cookies in front of Home Goods. I was just like, cheese, with like the box of Girl Scout cookies and everyone. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, the little girls like, come buy Girl Scout cookies and take a picture with Mrs. Todd. And I was just like, what? Because I don't know why they were saying that, but then they kept saying, I'm like, that's enough. That's quite enough. But
this is really about you girls. Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean. Too bad, Eugene. Oh no, this is a boy and girl contest. Too bad, Eugene. Hey, let's hear for the toilet paper. I freaking love Grease.
Mrs. Patty Simcox. This was not supposed to happen.
Yes. Or what about when Madge, stop blubbering, and she gets picked up at the dance. The other night I had insomnia really bad. I haven't had insomnia in a really long time. And so I had insomnia super bad. And I was watching TV while Daryl was snoring. And do you remember the movie? You were a baby. So you probably didn't see it then. But when we were older, it was with Goldie Hawn and Burt Reynolds called Best Friends.
Best Friends. You know, no, the one that I like is what is the name? It's her and I want to say Chevy Chase. What is that stupid movie called?
Oh, Foul Play.
Foul Play. I love that movie.
God. That is a great movie.
I love that movie. No, I don't remember Best Friends. I'll have to watch that one.
Well, you will kind of know because you've seen the scene. First of all, in the movie, her name is Paula.
Aww.
Yes. And so she and Burt Reynolds are together and they decide, they're LA writers. They live in Los Angeles and they decide to get married by themselves. So they decide to go to each other's parents' homes to tell them that they got married because they've been together forever and their parents have been pressuring them forever to get married because this is in the 80s. Everything's old school. Living in sin back in the 80s, early 80s, was like the biggest deal.
Right.
Now it's not. But back then it was. And so they're like, we have to go back. We have to tell our parents. So there's a scene when they're in her parents' home and they've been married for like 45 years and they're older and she found her dad trying to make a move on the maid because they have a cleaning lady who comes in and she was really upset about it. Like, because it like completely broke apart her idea of what her parents' marriage was like. You know, they became real people to her. Mm-hmm. So she's sitting in the tub taking a bath and her mom comes in. She goes, old age really kicks the shit out of you, Paula. She's like, I'm just glad. She goes, that's our third maid. She's like, he's been trying, you know, she goes, I admire him for trying, you know, I think it's good for him to feel like a man. And so she's just trying to explain why marriage is so difficult and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden her eyeglasses have completely fogged up because it's steaming in the bathroom. And she's like, Paula? She's like, I've gone blind. And it is one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in film ever. And I don't know why. It just affects me so greatly. So when that movie came on, I said, well, I have to watch it until I see my favorite scene. Now, I will share it to you on Facebook so you can see it.
Yes, do.
I think you will kind of remember because we did this with you in the tub a billion times when you were a kid.
Oh, God.
A million times. You were a bath taker. And
God, I'd be in there for hours.
Well, you would now if you could. You would totally take baths all the time.
Well, Olivia's hijacked the bathtub. I wouldn't dare get in there now. Well, I mean, first it's surrounded by like a million Barbies and it's dirty.
You know what? I agree. There was a time when I would enjoy a bath, but when I had little kids, even with I don't mind playing with the Barbie or here or there when I'm in the tub, but there's something about it. You could bleach the shit out of it and you still don't want to get in it.
I mean, when you lay back to relax and you're surrounded by like Barbies and, wet
Barbie heads.
It doesn't matter if you have a candle and a glass of wine or anything. It's just
You'd
you know what? This is child town.
Well, then you pick it up and you're like, oh, Ken, how are you?
Yeah, really. It's just like...
That's it.
And ultimately, you just end up putting them in inappropriate positions, and then
constantly
you can't forget to leave those. You have to undo them before.
Can you scissor these? Can you scissor Barbies? Anyway, so I will show it to you. But that was on late that night. I went, oh my God, I forgot. First of all, Goldie Hawn is a treasure. That woman,
she's so
damn
good.
Funny. Oh my God, she's so funny. All right, let's move on to some celeb news because there's actually some celeb news that I thought you would find interesting.
For real?
Ben Affleck is dating somebody.
Who?
Her name is Ana de Armas. She's 31, and she was in that movie, the Knives movie that just came out that I'm dying to see with Jamie Lee Curtis.
The Knives movie?
Something Knives. Shattered Knives? Broken Knives? Something like that. She is, and he is 47.
She's got a weird face.
I mean, she kind of reminded me of the girl in Game of Thrones. She's Cuban. Knives Out. She was in Knives Out. And she was also in Blade Runner. Oh, interesting. So she's, and she was in Deep Water with Ben Affleck, which, did that come out already?
God. What? She's tiny.
Yes, she's a very little girl. Or not girl, but.
She's not attractive at all, Jamie.
I don't know. I didn't delve.
Her face looks like bubbles.
Yeah, she is she's an unusual beauty.
Okay, this one's not so bad. Like, the bangs help, but...
She has a very tiny round face.
Just because she's famous, there's nothing stunning about her.
I haven't seen her in anything, so I'm sure she's a good actress, and that's something.
I don't know. When she's made up and posed fine, like, for pictures, she looks good. But, like, on the fly...
You know what? She's kind of the same line. Like, a lot of people think that who's that chick from the Twilight movies? Kristen something?
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, people think that she's a stunning lady, and I'm like, why do you say that?
She looks like a sweaty armpit.
She just looks so icky to me. I mean, she's not ugly in the traditional sense, like she's like not gross, but I don't find her, but man, does the fashion industry love her. They want her to do everything. And I'm like, why? Is she symmetrical and I just can't see it? I just don't get it. I'm not saying she's hideous and I want her hidden away, but I just don't understand it's just like the music industry trying to tell us that Camila Cabello is a thing. And I just don't understand it. She's so not a thing. It's like, stop trying to make her happen. She's not going to happen.
I mean, she's got an okay voice, but, she's got the body of a 12-year-old.
She's annoying as fuck. And she's not even the most talented person that comes out of Take 5 or whatever that group was.
I mean, like I said, she's got an okay voice. I mean, I don't mind it, but,
I'm not mad at it.
Watching her and... she just reminds me too much of the girl from Glee. I get them confused
Michelle,
all the time.
Whatever.
But she can actually sing, but she got really diva-like and annoying. Like, she just completely tanked. I don't know what happened to her.
Bad behavior, usually.
Well, it's just, when you think your shit doesn't stink, it can really turn on you. So
quickly,
like if you do it too early.
Yeah, if you wait too long. I read that Nicolas Cage wants to be buried in a pyramid when he dies.
That would be all right. Oh, God. Did you know Val Kilmer is coming out with a biography in April? It's called I'm Your Huckleberry.
I did know that, and I am going
to read it.
Absolutely.
I love Val Kilmer. I was thinking about some of the best actors. I can't think of a movie that Val Kilmer's been in, with the exception of The Island of Dr. Moreau. That thing was fucking weird.
Oh, yeah. That was bad.
For most of his movies, I have loved his characters in almost every movie he's played. Like, he literally makes the character someone I want to know.
One of my most favorite films, besides Tombstone, of course, and Top Gun, is The Saint. That is one of the best movies ever.
Well, it's just, I said, because I commented, because he was posted on Instagram that he has his biography coming out. Mm-hmm. I said, you have made like almost every character I've ever seen someone I want to know. I said, your ability to become like so raw, so erotic, and so like jaw dropping, like I cannot wait to see what you're going to say next. Yeah. It's just riveting.
Yeah.
Not many people can do that. And I just think he's very underrated, but he's kind of like a James Spader, you know, like James Spader to me is such a phenomenal actor.
He is a good actor. Do you watch that show that he's on? The Blacklist?
No, I don't. I didn't know he was on a show right now.
It's on NBC. You'll check it out. All right. Well, let's move on to some HUglee and Awkward Moments of the week. Now, in honor of coronavirus and St. Patrick's Day, I found a really cool way to do HUglee and Awkward Moments. St. Patrick's Day Medical Professional Edition. When I read them to you, you will know what I mean.
Okay.
Here's the first one. The dentist. A group of ad executives had a festive lunch by drinking green beer before a big client meeting. Oh, no. The food coloring coated their teeth neon green. 4 of them came to my office, freaking out, hoping for some kind of resolution. We laughed and told them that the plaque on their teeth is the culprit and there is no instant fix. They tried brushing, they tried a cleaning, and they even got whitening strips from us. Nothing worked. They had to go to the meeting with Hulk green teeth. It lasted 2 days.
Oh my God.
Here's the other one. This is from the ER. Of course, there's got to be one from the ER on St. Patrick's Day. An older gentleman took an extra dose of Viagra on St. Patrick's Day, put on a very tight and revealing leprechaun outfit to show off his boner for a party he was going to.
Why?
Because of the extra dose and the constricted costume, he ended up in excruciating pain and couldn't take it off without exceptional pain. So he went to the emergency room. Initially, the man did not want doctors to cut the outfit off because it was really expensive. And we said, look, you have to make a choice between this and your dick. Which is it going to be? And once we put it to him that way, he prioritized accordingly. I read that and I went, first of all, I can't even believe, he must have been inebriated or something. I can't believe that you would actually not want the thing cut away from your body.
Well, that's my whole thing. It's like, why did you go to the ER? Why didn't you just cut it right at the penis and let it poke out?
I don't know, man. Maybe, well, I have heard that Viagra-induced erections are not like normal erections. And if you took a double dose, it was probably unbelievably painful. I've heard they're very painful. Like there's so much blood in the member that it is, the idea of doing anything with it would be like torture.
I mean, can you ice it or something? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I've never been with anyone who.
What do they need to do? Put you on like blood thinners or something, or take an aspirin?
Sure.
I don't.
I want to say that I have heard that they will like drain the blood if they have to. Like It's severe.
I mean, my whole thing is like, why wouldn't you just like cut a hole in it and like, you know, give it some room or like some space to poke out? And but of course the guy's just like, it's expensive. And I'm just like, typical guy.
Right.
Doesn't want to do one or the other because one, wants to be a cheapskate, but two, doesn't want to be in pain. It's like, well, you can't have both, can you now? And you had to start with being an idiot.
Right. This is all self-induced. My thought is he went in hoping to get some kind of pill to reverse the erection.
Sorry, sir. There's no pill for moron.
so he can reverse and so he can continue drinking whatever he was doing.
God.
I read something that said St. Patrick's Day is like Valentine's Day for people who love whiskey and bad decisions. And I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly what this is. These kind of holidays are so meant for the rookies of the world. They aren't meant for actual drinkers. People who drink to get drunk don't do it on New Year's Eve or St. Patrick's Day. They just don't. They're at home or doing something different, usually.
I can't remember the last time I went out and drunk, whatever.
Oh, I do.
Like for me?
Yeah.
When was it?
The four of us went out for your 30th birthday.
Oh, God, that was 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And we went out and you and I got drugged.
Yeah.
And you ended up staying with me because we were afraid.
Yeah, because I was trying to sleep and I kept throwing up on myself.
Yeah. And then finally you came in. It was like 3 a.m. and you came in. You're like, I just peed myself all over the floor. And it was all over the bathroom floor.
Yeah.
It was terrible, but that wasn't your fault. Well,
I wound up in the ER the next day and they told me I had alcohol poisoning. And then for God's sake, someone called Mom and she's just like, well, whenever in trouble, contact the bouncer. And I'm like, yes, because you're the bar person. You would know, Mom.
Actually, they said it must have been that, but you and I had only had like 2 beers total.
I don't remember what I had, but
that was all you had. And
the only reason why we believed we were drugged was because after I drank that beer, that really weird couple came over.
Yeah, they did.
And they kept trying to get me. They kept trying to get me to go home with them, and I'm just like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Get away!" That guy was so weird.
Yeah, well, if you recall, Stephanie broke that girl's nose with her beer.
No, she got glass in her eye.
Well, whatever. It shattered and it was over. And then we had to flee the scene because we were the ones getting in trouble.
Yeah, in your car with the very identical license plate.
I know, in the big white Durango. Yeah, and oh my God, you know how desperate we were? Allison drove us out of there. That's how bad it was.
Shut up, really?
She drove us out of there, and then Stephanie directed us to her local hangout, and we went to that bar and hung out for a minute.
Well, I didn't. I went up and threw up in the bathroom.
Yeah, you ended up in the truck. You ended up going back to the truck to fall asleep or whatever you did. But I definitely remember we ended up at her friend's house, Mark's, and he was so excited that there were 4 women there that he was just insanely excited. He was hilarious, by the way. He was one of the funniest people I'd ever met.
I know. He was such a good guy.
He was a great guy. And he convinced me to get high with him. And then at some point he goes, hey, you want to do some coke? And I'm like, I mean, why not? And Stephanie came in like a hellion. And she's like, what the fuck is going on, Mark? Leave my sister alone. She's been compromised. So she hustled us out of there. And then I don't even remember. Was that the night? Oh, no. That was another night. The night we went to that other bar and did karaoke. And then we all ended up stealing food from the hotel and then took off and went to Lions. And you passed out in the booth. Do you remember any of that?
No.
It was a really fun night. I remember a lot of that evening for sure. That was super fun. That's when Stephanie got picked up on by that guy who we called him Moppy or something like that because of his hair. His hair was all
so
floppy.
Ugly.
Oh, and
she was just bragging about how hot he was, and I'm just like, yeah, you go for it.
He works for a bank.
And I'm like, yeah,
that was
great.
So funny. We're like, ooh, golden one.
And she's like, I got his business card, and I'm just like, oh yeah, part-time bank teller. Woo!
He's a keeper. Oh my gosh, she will never live that down to this day.
No, God, she just screams at us when we start talking about it.
Shut up, just shut up. I'm like, oh, was it the khakis or the Sperry topsiders that got you hot? Which was it? Or how his short little friend who clearly didn't get
that's right.
jeans.
He had a wingman.
He had a little wingman who was bragging about how he's writing a book about murder.
Oh God, that's right.
And we're like, you're fucking creepy. Are you here looking for victims? What's wrong with you? We are so heartless too. Like, we don't give a shit.
I think we even said, we're like, stay the fuck away from us.
Oh my God.
Get out of here.
So many insane evenings. The 4 of us really should not be allowed to go out together, but we can't help it.
We cannot help ourselves. Well, I think that's a wrap. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
The coronavirus is here. Just chill, everyone. We'll get through this. We promise. We'll get through it. That's
I mean, what choice do we have?
None. That's the point. So chin up. This is, it's funny. I heard somebody say, they're like, oh, you only like America when it's easy. This is when it's hard. It's time to band together and not be assholes. So stop buying all the fucking toilet paper, which I still don't understand. And just chill out. Everything will be okay.
Or don't chill out. Have a bad attitude. Be like me,
I will say, though, for where we're living, luckily, it looks like the weather's going to clear for at least a couple of days. So we can actually go outside and breathe fresh air.
Yeah, for 2 days, and it's going to rain this weekend.
Yeah, I know. But at least we'll have a little bit of an opportunity, and I am steering clear of the fucking stores. I will wipe my ass with a rag if I have to. If I run out of toilet paper, I'm not going out there. I'm not doing it. I refuse.
No, we have the only thing we don't have is we don't have meat and we don't have milk. That's the only thing we don't have.
Anyway, all right. Well, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
But we're going to still do our podcast because luckily we don't have a huge staff or anything. So we get to just business as usual, which is awesome.
And we're practicing our social distancing. We're a good 25 miles apart. So,
so we're really winning.
We're good. Unfortunately, Pablo doesn't believe in social distancing. He's attached to my body right now.
He's like, if I could get into your skin, I would.
But I'm comfortable. I don't think he's eaten any bat recently. So,
well, coronavirus, dogs can't catch it. So that's good news.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
He likes to lay right next to me, like in my face. And sometimes with my eyes closed, if I like move a little bit, I'll feel him lick my nose or something. I'm like, stop it. And I'll open my eyes and he's just kind of staring at me. Like, I'm like, why? Why every time I move, like just even the slightest shift, you think it's an opportunity to lick my face?
Every time I get up, if all the animals are in and we're watching TV and if I get up to get a drink of water, everyone gets up. If I get up, everyone gets up.
Like, what are we doing? What's going on?
Yeah. And I'm just like, leave me alone. And then whoever's the most agile at the time will follow me. And I'm like, why? Why is this happening? I just wanted to get a glass of water.
She might be getting food, everyone. Send a representative.
It's insane. It's insane.
They send their union representative to see what you're about to do. See if they can get you into negotiations.
Even Daryl. I sit up and Daryl's like, what, do you need anything? And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you.
Yes, I need to use the restroom. Is that all right?
Oh, do you know how many times I've had to say that to him? He's like, oh, what are you doing? Do you need anything? I'm like, well, I thought I'd go urinate. Would you like to join me?
You know what? After a while, I just ignore people and I just go do my thing.
I do that as well.
I pretend like I don't hear them.
I do that too.
Even though it's very clear everyone knows that someone just spoke. I'm like, what? I don't know.
I do that all the time.
Maybe I'll just start walking around with earbuds in my ear, even though there's nothing in there.
Yes. Well, I remember Daryl would be like, well, I did tell you this. And I'm like, no, you didn't. He goes, yes, I did. I told you. I'm like, oh, that was probably the time when you were trying to show me something Star Wars and I just completely shut out. And then you probably said something valid and I didn't hear it because you incorporated it into your Star Wars talk. Sorry. Tell me again.
Jesus. I can't tell you how many times. It's the same thing with Olivia or Victor. I clearly have to stop something important to watch whatever, unimportant thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
I can't tell how many times during the fight last week or the week before?
Yeah, last week.
$65. I had to stop so Olivia could show me some dance or some position or some face or something like that. I'm like, Olivia, I have paid $65 to watch this thing. If you show me another goddamn dance move while this thing is going on, I said, you're going to have to start paying me.
It'll be the last dance move you do for free around here.
I'm sure I posted a picture of her with her arms all like gangled weird or something like that. She's like, Mom, look. And I'm just like, it's $65.
$65. $65.
I want my $65.
$65.
All right.
Movie too.
All right. We better wrap up.
Yes.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We will be on air unless something ridiculous happens, which I'm sure it won't. We will be back on Sunday. So happy St. Patrick's Day. This is the day after, so hopefully you're not feeling hungover. Please visit Amazon.com. Go to uglytruth.com, click on the Amazon button. I know since all of us are pretty much restricted from going anywhere, you can do Amazon shopping. That's what I've done. I have quite a few orders coming in this week. I bought a cornhole game that the kids can play in the backyard or in the hallway.
God. Next episode, I have to tell you, I did the worst. I did the unthinkable. I bought another Moncala game.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you about it next show.
And then
There's already been an incident. I will tell you about it.
I bought a bubbles set where it comes with like 30 wands. So Olivia can go in the backyard and bubble. And I bought like a jug of bubble juice or whatever, so she can play bubbles in the backyard. And then we also bought like build your own robot, but there's like 30 different robots you can build. So we're trying to find activities to stay busy. We'll see if any of that stuff actually gets used. I plan on playing, well, why do they call it cornhole? This is the stupidest name. It's not actually a cornhole game. It's like this thing, and it's kind of like skee ball. It's got like holes, but each hole has like a point number. So if you get the beanbag in that number, then you get those points. So I don't know. We'll probably do like 3 tosses, and whoever has the highest score is the winner. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You and I have discussed at some point you're coming over and we're going to party. I mean, it's going to happen.
That actually, yeah, we'll bring that over. So
fuck yeah, we'll have a good time. I mean, once the rain is over, if they're still out of school, you're coming over and we're gonna party like it's 1999.
Yes, for shiz. So also, I know a lot of nail salons are closed, beauty salons are closed, makeup stores are closed, but lipandclip.com is still open and
hell yes,
shipping.
It is.
So if you need to get your stuff, go to there and purchase lots of makeup stuff. They had good deals recently. I was buying some eyeliner, lip liner, eyeshadow, and I don't need any more lipstick, but I never need any more lipstick, and I always buy some anyway. So check it out, and I think that's about it, friends. So we'll see you on Sunday. Hope everyone is feeling well, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.